समझ नहीं आ रहा अपने सैलरी इंक्रीमेंट का क्या करूं।
बेटा इतना क्या सोच रहा है? अपने म्यूचुअल फंड्स के एसआईपी का टॉप अप करा ले। दिस इज द राइट टाइम।
क्या? समझ में नहीं आया।
बेटा इतना क्या सोच रहा है? अपने म्यूचुअल फंड्स का एसआईपी टॉपअप करा ले। दिस इज द राइट टाइम।
अब समझा।
Mutual fund investments are subject to market risks. Read all scheme related documents carefully.
Baba Gurmeet Ram Rahim insan. See the picture? Does the name ring a bell? You see his name in the headlines every other day. Not just because he's a convict thrice over, convict twice for rapes, for raping two different women, and convicted for murdering a journalist as well. And for this, he's been given three sentences. Three sentences, one of 10 plus 2 for one rape, that is to run concurrently, 10 plus 2 in 10 years. Second, 10 plus 2 for the second rape. The two sentences, however, the judge said will run consecutively, which means 10 years plus 10 years. Then he was convicted and sentenced in a third case. That's an even more serious case. That's a murder case, murder of a journalist, where the judge gave him a life sentence. This is Judge Jagdeep Singh in a special CBI court in Haryana. Life sentence. Again, the judge said that so severe are these offences, and given the heinous nature of his earlier offences, that is multiple rapes on multiple women, he should not be given any leeway. That means his sentences cannot run concurrently, which means he serves 10 years plus 10 years for the two rapes, and then at least 20 years for his life sentence, which means Babaji is inside for 40 years at least. However, Babaji is seen more outside than inside, or at least that's the impression. And that's the reason you keep seeing his name in the headlines, because every other day looks like he gets a parole or he gets a furlough. He's so important that for him, Haryana government amended its parole and furlough law. That is something that I will talk about as we go along. However, also see how powerful he is, and at the same time, how long is the arm of the law, and how good is the legal system, and how good is the judiciary where it really decides to act. Because as you watch this episode of Cut the Clutter, India will see something truly unusual play out. That will be a trial, the testimony of the complainant in a very serious criminal case on video, by video conferencing from the US. Why? Because the complainant is so scared of being in India that he's gone away to the US. And he should be scared because his case is that his testicles he surgically had removed, and he wasn't the only one to whom this was done. He was among 400 people whose testicles he surgically had removed on the promise that this will get you some nirvana or moksha or whatever he might have called it. However, this man dared to complain. This man was a singer in the Baba's devotional music team. His name is Hansraj Chauhan. The Baba had given him the name as a singer, Hakiki Hans, like artists, usually singers, artists have other names. So Hakiki Hans. Hakiki Hans is the one who made this complaint. Now this case went on and on. The police were not registering the case. So this man, this complainant, the brave man, he went to High Court and filed a private petition there. The High Court took notice of that and ordered the CBI to investigate the case. This man, meanwhile, having lost an important part of his body, did not want to risk any further wrath of the strong man or of the Baba, who in any case was under trial for two more murders, for both of which he got convicted by the trial court. I told you about one. He was convicted in one more case for murder. That trial court conviction of the murder of Ranjit Singh, who was also a Sevadar or official in the Baba's Dera, that was set aside by the Punjab and Haryana High Court in 2024, saying that the CBI case was a bit clumsy. The CBI is in Supreme Court in appeal against that acquittal as well. Now, seeing somebody get away with two murders and multiple rapes, Anybody will be scared. Hansraj Chauhan chose to go to America, where he is in New York now. The judge faced a difficult question. Judge Anil Kumar Yadav in the special CBI court trying this in Panchkula near Chandigarh in Haryana. He allowed this testimony by video conferencing. Defense said no, he cannot appear by video conferencing because he must be here physically. We need to examine his demeanor, right? The judge said nothing doing. He can appear by video conferencing. The judge bought into the idea, one, that there was a security issue, and second, that it was too expensive to come from 13,000 kilometers away. Let him give his testimony from there. The judge went the extra mile by asking the CBI to arrange for a document visualizer. So defense, if it wanted, could confront the complainant with voluminous documentary evidence if they wanted, and also a high resolution screen. It also instructed the local administration to ensure uninterrupted power supply during this testimony from 4:30 p.m. to 8 a.m. on 2 days. That is January 8 and January 9. Also, it asked the Indian consulate in New York to make sure that this testimony takes place in the correct way and there is nobody present there to influence or to coach or to tutor the complainant. So all this bandobast has been done for this to happen. Now, I know the first question that will come to your mind is that was it medically proven that this man's testicles have been taken away? The High Court asked for a medical examination on 11th of February 2013, 12 years back. This medical examination was carried out by Government Multi-Speciality Hospital, GMSH, in Chandigarh, and they said that the testicles were missing and the possibility of castration could not be ruled out, which means castration was probably the cause that this man's testicles were missing. That's why the accused in this case is not just one. It isn't just Baba Gurmeet Ram Rahim. It is also two doctors, two qualified doctors, unfortunately. One Dr. Pankaj Garg, who practices in Panchkula, and Dr. Mahendra Pal Singh, who is a surgeon in the hospital run in the Baba's Dera. This hospital is named after the founder of the Dera. It's called Shah Satnamji Specialty Hospital, Sirsa. So there are three clear accused in this case. Why am I giving you this story? One, because here is a man who's been convicted for 2 rapes. Now, the judge also in his rape conviction says that there were many other complainants as well. So this looks like this was a pattern. Second, he's been convicted in 2 murders. In one murder in appeal, he's been acquitted. However, the CBI is sitting in Supreme Court in appeal against that acquittal as well. He does remain convicted and serving these long sentences for 2 rapes and 1 murder. In spite of that, he's given paroles and furloughs at will all the time, as and when he wants. He gets it. But there's a pattern to that. And the pattern is, and we will show the pattern to you as we go along. Before that, I will do some disturbing reading for you. The pattern shows that any time there's an election in Punjab, Haryana, Delhi, even Rajasthan, even if it's a by-election, even if it's a municipal or panchayat election, some excuse is found to give him parole. And right now, 2022 onwards, not even an excuse is needed because Haryana government amended its law. It amended its law in such a way that you could just be given a parole or furlough on good conduct. Earlier, Haryana government's earlier parole law, that was called Haryana Good Conduct Prisoners Temporary Release Act, 1988, that required the prisoner to give a valid reason for parole. My parents passed away, my kids getting married, my spouse is sick, I have to plow my fields, I have to harvest my crops. Some legitimate reason had to be given. The Baba was put in jail. He was jailed after his conviction in 2017, right? 2017, next few years, the government struggled to give him parole because he could not find reasons. Now, to make it convenient, and this is also the time when BJP has risen in Haryana, BJP has stakes in Haryana, And also, BJP is trying to make its presence felt in Punjab. And also, the BJP has discovered that Baba has a following in Rajasthan as well, in Delhi as well, because the Baba has a very large following. This is something that I talked about in detail in an earlier episode, I think, episode 1458. We'll share a link with you, so check that out, because he has a very large following, particularly among backward castes, scheduled castes, and the poorer people in these regions. That the government wants to make the point that, look, we are looking after your guy. He may be a rapist, he may be a murderer, convicted. I'm not using alleged here, right? He may be a multiple rapist, he may be a murderer, he may be a multiple rapist, he may be a murderer, but he is your guy. We look after your guy. Just remember this when you go into vote. Now, to ensure that, how would the government then give him these reprieves under the existing law? So they amended this law in 2022. They amended this law in 2022. They notified it in 4th of April 2022. Under this law, a prisoner does not need any reason to leave. A prisoner, no matter how serious their crime, a prisoner can take 7 weeks, that is 70 days of parole in a year, and 3 weeks, that is 21 days of furlough in a year, that is 91 days in a year. So Babaji might have been given 40 years, but he will carry on like this, because now this parole and furlough is almost by right. Remember also, there's a little nuance there. A parole gets added to your sentence. So if you were to spend a year in jail, sorry, I should not say you were to, if anybody were to spend a year in jail and went out on parole for 70 days, then on return, those 70 days will get added to the jail sentence. The person has to serve an additional 70 days. But a furlough is not added like that. So a furlough is a straightforward bonus. This was brought in by this new Haryana law, Haryana Good Conduct Prisoners Temporary Release Act of 2022. I will take you through the pattern of these releases with a chart as we go along. But before that, let me do some disturbing reading for you. This is not language you will ever find me using in public. This is also language that will shock you. It will shock you and it will disturb you. But you know what? That is also the purpose. So if you have children around you or non-adults, or you think people might be triggered by some of this stuff, you can put on your headphones or pods, or maybe watch it only among adults. This is, however, language that I have not invented. This is language that I'm reading out, passages that I'm reading out from the judge's order. First of all, from his order on the 2 rape cases where he handed out 10-year sentences and convictions to Baba Gurmeet Ram Rahim. I read from the judgment. While elaborating upon the allegations against the accused, Prosecutrix A, she by the way lived from July 99 to April 2001 on the Dera. Prosecutrix A, the judgment says, has alleged that on 28 to 29, the night of 28-29, 1999 at about 8 p.m., Prabandhak Sudesh, that is manager named Sudesh, told her that Baba Gurmeet Singh had called her to the Gufa. Now the judge describes how the Baba lives. The Baba lives in a place called the Gufa. Gufa means a cave. That's where Baba Gurmeet Ram Rahim used to live on his dera. And the judge gives description of that, and also the prosecutrixes give description of that. And at some point the judge also says that he found the description accurate. Now the Baba, according to these charges, also had guards on sentry duty. All of these were women guards. So these young women were given duty charts on 20-day basis. A rotation would take place every 20 days. These women guards would protect or would stand outside on guard on sentry duty at the Gufa. Very much the Muammar Gaddafi style. He had these female guards, remember? So Prabandhak Sudesh told Prosecutrix A that Baba Gurmeet Singh had called her to the Gufa, and when she went there, she saw Baba Gurmeet Singh alone in the Gufa. That accused Baba Gurmeet Singh told her to close the door and sit. When she sat on the floor, he asked her to sit on the bed near him. She hesitated, but on the insistence of the Baba, she sat near him on the bed, and he talked about her life and experience at the Dera. The accused also asked her about her earlier life, where she talked about a boyfriend and some letters that he had written to him, etc., etc. On this, the accused told her that she need not worry about the said boy, as she had given her body and mind in his name, that is in the accused's name, Baba Gurmeet Ram Rahim's name, by becoming a sadhvi. And thereafter the accused started fondling her body, and when she protested, the accused told her that he had the right over her body, and she went on resisting and protesting, but the accused threatened her and committed rape upon her forcibly, and threatened her that she was physically weak as compared to the accused, and she could not physically ward off the accused. It is also alleged that the accused told her that she had become apavitra and he was making her pavitra. She had become apavitra, I presume. The judge is not saying it because she had a boyfriend in the past, that she had become apavitra and he was making her pavitra, and he had forgiven whatever mistakes she had committed. That when she was coming out of the gufa, the accused threatened her not to tell anything about the incident to anybody, or otherwise it will not be good for her. That after this incident, she was shifted from the new dera to the old dera. There are two deras, one about 5 acres, a new one is about 600 acres. From the new dera to the old dera at the insistence of the accused, Baba Ram Rahim, that she also came to know that accused used to call sadhvis in the gufa of old dera as well. So there is a gufa in the old dera too. Next point, the judge is further documenting the allegation. She told the judge that after a year of the first incident, Prabandhak, again manager, these are women. Prabandhak Paramjit Kaur called her and told her that Babaji had called her to the gufa, that she was scared due to the previous incident and refused to go to the gufa. But Prabandhak told her that if she would not go to the gufa, she would not get food from the langar, the community eating hall. And on repeated instructions from the Prabandhak, she again went to the gufa. That when she reached the gufa, the accused was at the gate of the gufa, and on seeing her, he went inside the gufa. When she entered the gufa, accused Baba Gurmeet Singh closed the door of the gufa and caught hold of her. And when she threatened to shout, the accused told her that her voice would not go out of the room. And when she threatened to tell everything to her brother Ranjit Singh, that Ranjit Singh, by the way, was the man who was assassinated subsequently, that she would tell her brother Ranjit Singh, Baba Gurmeet Singh told her that Ranjit Singh, being a staunch disciple, would not believe her. And when she insisted that her brother would definitely believe her, then accused told her that he would get Ranjit Singh killed and buried. Ranjit Singh was killed, but that in that case, I must once again underline that Baba was convicted of murder by the trial court, acquitted by the High Court. That she tried to get herself released from the clutches of the accused, but to no avail, and the accused forcibly raped her against her will and consent. Then the judge goes into further detail of the case. The judge says, prosecutrix A, we are still continuing with the first victim, further alleged that 5 to 6 months after the incident, warden told her that accused Baba Gurmeet Ram Rahim Singh had called her to the gufa, and when she went there, then accused was standing near the gate of the gufa, and he tried to pull her in to take her upstairs, but she got herself released, and then the accused threatened to get her and her family killed if she told anything to anybody. That a few days later, when her brother Ranjit Singh came to the dera, she told everything to him, and on hearing her, he told her not to disclose about the incidents to anybody, including their parents, and he promised to take her and his own 2 daughters out of the dera. And after some time, her brother Ranjit Singh took her and his 2 daughters out of the dera. This Ranjit Singh is the one who got killed subsequently. Now we come to prosecutrix B. She joined the dera as sadhvi in July 1998. She has alleged that she became a sadhvi and Baba Gurmeet Singh gave her the name Nazam. This complainant or this victim alleged that there was a way from the girls' hostel to the gufa of Maharaj Gurmeet Singh, and sadhvis used to be put on sentry duty, Katafi style. Sadhvis used to be put on sentry duty at the entry gate of the gufa, and she also used to perform sentry duty. She has alleged that once in September 1999, she was on sentry duty in the night from 8 p.m. to 12 p.m. Accused called her inside the gufa at 10 p.m. and she thought that Maharaj may have some work, as she regarded him as Bhagwan, God. And therefore, she went inside the gufa. That accused told her to sit on the bed near to him, and she hesitated and tried to sit on the floor, but the accused asked her to sit on the bed. Accordingly, she sat on the bed by the side of the accused, who asked her about her life and experience at the dera. Then the familiar story unfolds again. My words, and I'm coming back to the judge now and quoting him, that thereafter the accused started fondling her body and she resisted, but the accused forcibly took her in his arms and she tried to get herself released, but the accused was stronger than her. Further, she alleged that the accused committed rape upon her and she kept on weeping, and the accused also threatened her not to tell anything about the incident to anybody, or otherwise it will not be good for her. She further alleged that she went out of the gufa weeping and she did not say anything to her colleagues, that her sister told her that Maharaj Gurmeet Singh had also committed rape upon her, that when her parents came for majlis the next day, she told them about the incident and requested them to take her out of the dera, and her parents took her and her sister out of the dera the same day. And then the judge goes on to say, as per investigation, some other victims also stated that the accused had sexually exploited the sadhvis. In fact, at one point, 18 sadhvis who were to be witnesses in this case, besides these two complainants, all 18 in the course of time, out of fear or maybe allurement, I don't know, they did not appear as witnesses, but the judge found the evidence strong. But the judge found the evidence strong enough to convict the Baba. This brings us to the verdict, and I will just read 3 lines from the verdict. This is the double rape verdict. The judge says that this court is of the considered view that when the convict did not even spare his own pious disciples and had acted like a wild beast, he does not deserve any mercy. In other words, a man who has no concern for humanity nor has any mercy in his nature does not deserve leniency from this court. Convict Baba Gurmeet Ram Rahim has been held guilty for committing rape upon prosecutrix A, punishable under section 376, etc. And he repeats this for prosecutrix B as well. This adds up to 10 plus 2 running concurrently and another 10 plus 2 running consecutively. That means Baba Ram Rahim is in jail for 20 years for 2 proven charges of rape. And now we come to murder, and I'm not going into the murder for which the Baba has been acquitted in appeal at the High Court. This is the murder of Ramchandra Chhatrapati, who ran a small newspaper called Pura Sach. Pura Sach means the whole truth, in Sirsa. He was shot on 24th of October 2002 by assailants outside his residence in Sirsa, motorcycle-borne assailants, outside his residence in Sirsa in the evening hours. He was taken to hospital. He fought with his bullet injuries for a month but died in November. I will take you straight to the judge's order in this case. The judge says, keeping in view the conspiracy angle duly proved on record, what was the issue here? The issue here was that early in 2002, an anonymous letter surfaced. With a bunch of sadhvis accusing the Baba of carrying out rapes on them. Nobody paid attention to it there. However, that letter was also sent to Prime Minister Atal Bihari Vajpayee. So it found some currency. That letter was published by this newspaper, Pura Sach. So what was anonymous letter? First got to Mr. Vajpayee's office, the Prime Minister's office, and must have gone through regular channels in the agency system someplace. But also it was published in the newspaper. That is the publication, that is the letter that ultimately High Court of Punjab and Haryana took notice of suo motu and then instructed the CBI to register these cases and start investigating these rape charges. Now this is what got the Baba infuriated. Just the publication of the letter got him infuriated, and as a consequence, this editor and local newspaper owner, a chota eveninger owner, he was assassinated. The judge says in his order, keeping in view the conspiracy angle, conspiracy means because he had to be punished for publishing this letter, 3 gunmen were brought in. They were all followers of the Dera, and they were assigned to kill him. So that is the conspiracy angle. Keeping in view the conspiracy angle duly proved on record, coupled with strong motive to commit the crime, no doubt can be entertained about the involvement of the accused Gurmeet Ram Rahim, Krishan Lal, Kuldeep Singh, Nirmal Singh in the commission of crime. Those are the three gunmen, shooters. That is murder of deceased Ramchandra Chhatrapati. Some more of the judge's observations need a mention, because this is a brilliant judge and also a brave judge to be sitting in Punjab and Haryana and be delivering these orders against Baba Gurmeet Ram Rahim. Baba Gurmeet Ram Rahim is a very, very powerful man in North India, and he's got three things on his side. He's got the mob on his side, he's got his spiritual quote-unquote appeal on his side, because people are scared. Something happens, Baba gets angry with me, he'll make a mouse out of me, right? This is a conversation I once had with Chandra Swami on Walk the Talk, when he said to me that all my problems were caused by Arjun Singh. So I said, if all those problems were caused by Arjun Singh, आपके पास तो इतना तंत्र मंत्र है, आपने उसका चूहा क्यों नहीं बना दिया? Why didn't you curse him and make him a mouse? So he was quick on his feet, Chandra Swami. He was a con man. That Walk the Talk is available on NDTV's website. I will see if I can find a link for you also with the description here. He said, ये ऐसी शक्तियाँ आप अपने लिए इस्तेमाल नहीं करते हैं. You don't use these supernatural powers for yourself. So this is an aside, but I'm using that aside to tell you that these guys also have powers like these. So they can scare people. People are scared of acting against them. So first the mob. Second, this Jantar Mantar Jadoo Tona power. God knows what will he do to me. And third, he's had the government on his side. And yet for the judge to give these orders has to be a very brave judge. These are also very well-written orders. That's why they are also surviving some of the appeals. While making his case for the quantum of the punishment for the murder of journalist Ramchandra Chhatrapati, the owner of Pura Sach newspaper, in this case, the judge makes a strong argument. The judge says that known as the fourth estate in a modern state, the press is ideally the watchdog of democracy. Because of its vast potential for influencing the public opinion, it is generally acknowledged that it has the power to make or mar the career of any individual or organization. Journalism is serious business, he says. Journalism is serious business, he says, which ignites the desire to seek and report the truth, and as such facilitates a better society and world. There is little glamour to the job. Can you imagine running a chota eveninger in Sirsa? What glamour will you have? There is little glamour to the job, no big reward, and in the traditional mold, it is predominantly a public service in the sincerest sense. Any honest and dedicated journalist has always an uphill task to report the truth, especially concerning a powerful person enjoying political patronage across party lines. The judge speaks the truth. Sometimes a journalist finds himself or herself presented with an offer to choose either the carrot or the stick. Those who refuse often face the consequences. Sometimes even to the extent of getting eliminated. If he submits to the powerful, he loses credibility. If he defies, he gets killed. Stay with me, or rather stay with the judge. He says, therefore, in the fight between the good and the evil, it is the journalist in the traditional mold, the one who is inspired by idealistic fervor to serve the cause of the truth, who becomes a casualty. In the instant case, life of an innocent citizen and an upright, idealistic journalist was snuffed out simply because he dared to write about the activities of a powerful head of some dera. However, mobocracy and violent attacks on innocent citizens have no place in a democracy like ours, which is governed by the rule of law and sound constitutional norms. The pillars of democracy cannot be allowed to be crushed. The purpose of reading out these passages to you was basically to shock everybody's conscience, So when we see next time so-and-so gets parole and is lionized, he's now reinvented himself as a self-proclaimed godman preacher on YouTube and internet. That is something on which Nutan Sharma, a reporter, had done a long story earlier, of which I will share a link with you. You can see such an awful convict for such awful crimes is being given such a convenient time, and I can be quite sure that arrangements are made for him to have a reasonable time inside the jail as well, and also keep running his empire. Nothing's happened with his empire. That's running as it was. That said, in conclusion, just see this chart on your screen, and the chart will stay for some time, so you can see it carefully. These are all his various furloughs and appeals. He was jailed in 2017. 2020, he got just a one-day emergency parole to visit his ailing mother, no complaints. 2021, one-day emergency parole to visit ailing mother. By this time, the government said, "यार क्या फायदा हुआ हमारे सरकार में होने का? We are in the government, huh? He's a guy we need. He can go and spread word to his followers to vote for us. So find a way to give him more paroles." 2022, as I told you, Haryana amended the law. 7 to 28 February 2022, he was on a 21-day furlough, not a parole yet. Furlough he could still get under the old law. Furlough, and that was on the eve of Punjab Assembly elections. In the same year, just months later, on 4th of April 2022, Haryana had notified the new law. June, he got a 30-day parole ahead of the Haryana municipal elections. In the same year, again in October, he got another 40-day parole, now ahead of just one assembly by-poll. But that is Adhampur, very important. That is old Bhajanlal family constituency. So a very key constituency. He got a 40-day parole ahead of that. Then we come to 2023. 40-day parole in January. January, there's a kind of a pattern because 19 January is the birth anniversary of Satnam Shahji, the founder of his sect or his dera. That's around time he gets time off from jail anyway. 40 days beginning January 2023. Then in 23 itself, in July, he gets a 30-day parole ahead of Haryana Panchayat elections. Then a 21-day furlough ahead of Rajasthan Assembly elections, all in 23. 24, once again in January, his usual anniversary parole. Then 21-day furlough ahead of Haryana Assembly elections. Now within 2024, he gets two breaks. He first gets a 21-day furlough. That's the full tenure of the furlough is allowed in a year. That is as the Haryana election campaigning has begun. His second parole, in fact, starts on 2nd October of 2024. Haryana election is on 5th of October, right? What timing can be better than that as a signal to his devotees? 2025, once again in 2025, he gets a 30-day parole ahead of Delhi Assembly elections, and then he gets another 21-day parole ahead of his sect's 77th Foundation Day celebrations. Now again in January, the reason is the annual anniversary events of the foundation of his sect. Now, before I let you go, I will tell you something else also. What was his defense in the court, particularly in the rape cases? In the rape cases, his lawyer or his defense counsels also took the argument that the Babaji is impotent, that he is impotent, he is not capable of sexual activity. The judge dismissed it, but irony of ironies. This Baba made his fame, riding motorcycles, riding motorcycles, recording music videos, doing movies, and one of those much quoted and much mentioned and very popular among his followers music videos was "I Am Your Lovecharger." So think of a Lovecharger Baba who also claims in court that he's impotent and yet is convicted for the rape of two young women.